Good morning, Children's Discipleship teams. I'm so excited for you to serve with us this summer. This video is going to provide you all the training and logistical information that you're going to need as we start our new semester in June. June and July run a little bit differently for Children's Discipleship, and in the past you might have done a team training to transition. You might not have done any specific training, but this year, especially because of COVID and there is a lot shifting because things have opened up a little bit more. We do just want to make sure that everyone feels prepared and prepped for just kind of general expectations and logistics as you come to serve. This summer we'll have 9 ministry teams running. And I am going to run you through a basic structure first of information that applies to all of the teams, because there is information that just blanketly applies to everyone. And then we'll transition into a time that is just room-specific information that will be helpful as you serve and disciple the kiddos in your room. So first and foremost, we're going to go over child protection. That's a really important policy for everyone, including the security hosts, the coordinators, everyone. We are going to talk a little bit about drop-off and pickup, and that includes your arrival for the morning. We're going to talk about the end of the day, some logistics with that. I'm going to go over some basic things about the sickness policy, and then I will hit some high-level things on scheduling. Now, it's really important to know in the email that I sent you, I have sent you a hard copy of this information, so if you're more, if you like to read, if you're more of a visual learner, this might be a good way for you to engage, and the video might not be as important, but I just wanted to be able to give everyone different formats so that they can just do what is best for their learning style. I will say the video does have some visuals like the 4 to 6 bathroom break that can be really helpful for everyone. So here we go. Child protection. So this does not ever change. We want everyone to have a very clear understanding. No adult is to be in the Children's Discipleship wing any point of any church event, just you and the child, or you and a group of children. There should always be 2 adults, non-related, so either not in the same family or not married, at the same time with the kids. This provides protection for the kids so that, you know, God forbid something happened unseemly. It also provides protection for the adult because we always want to be able to be there and provide accountability and just ensure that nothing is happening. So that is really important and really helpful for everyone to note. So if you ever find yourself in a situation where it is just you and a child or you and a group of children, you always need to use your walkie-talkie, especially on Sunday morning, to call for help. There's always the coordinator. You can always call the security host. They all have a walkie-talkie in the morning, but it's much better to call for help and to pull someone out of their normal position than it is to ever be alone with one child or a group of children. For just some basic logistical information with drop-off, the servant team, so for the servant team, the teacher and the coordinator are going to arrive at 8:15 on Sunday mornings. That will give them time to run through some pre-service things, and will also give them an opportunity to pray together before the servant team starts arriving. Servant team members, all the class facilitators, the security host, you should all arrive. Basically, if you're on a team and you're not a coordinator or a teacher, you are going to arrive at 8:30 on your morning of service. I know it can be difficult with kids, but we're really asking everyone to stick to arriving at 8:30. This gives you time to be able to print your name tag, to print your children's name tags if you need to. If your kids need to come with you, if you and your spouse are both serving, we need to make sure that your children stay with you until 8:45. That way, all the servant team members have plenty of time to get there. When you arrive, if you are on one of those teams, you are going to find the coordinator and let her know you have arrived. You will go to a station and print your name tag, and then you will go up to your room after she has given you your devotional, or he. Tim is serving now, so I shouldn't leave out the he. So you will get a devotional sheet that's got some basic information about what we're studying that day, some devotional information for you to read and just prepare your heart as you get ready for the kids to arrive. All of your lesson, your schedule, all the activities will be prepped and in your room on the shelf if you are facilitating a classroom. So you should not really have to do anything other than just come in, find the coordinator, print your name tag, and then go prepare your heart for the kids to arrive. Drop off, like I said, for the kids will start at 8:45. So that is always the case. They will print their name tag. The parents now will be able to go to the station and print their name tag and drop their children off at the classroom. So this will be the first time that we are receiving families during check-in. The one thing that I really want to emphasize is, irregardless of whether you know the parent or not, if you see a parent come to check in, and this applies to everyone, the security host, the teacher, the coordinator, the best thing that you can do to set the morning up for success is to just be a welcoming presence. So greet the parent. If you don't know them, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to their child. If you don't remember names, just give them your name and it'll prompt them to give you their name. We really want to create a culture of hi and welcome. So when people come in, they can feel comfortable and engaged. We do not want anyone feeling unprepared or running around so that they can't engage in this way. So if you feel that way, please reach out to me so that I can help remedy whatever is getting in your way of that culture of welcome. For all of the class facilitators, when a person brings a child to your class, when check-in starts at 8:45, again, I want you to do one of two things. If you don't know them, introduce yourself to their child, see if there's anything they want you to know. If you know them, still greet them, greet their child. That is something I really want us to focus on this year. It's just that culture of welcome as we come into the building. And hopefully the teachers and the coordinators will be able to lead out in that way because they'll be the first ones kind of at the building and they will be greeting the servant team members as they come. So even with the servant team members, we want to establish that welcome culture. At pickup, obviously now the parents are going to be all coming back in the wing. So they will be able to come to the class. When you see parents start to present in the hallway, one facilitator in each class needs to stand at the door with the roster. After all the check-in is complete, the coordinator will bring by your roster for the morning. And if you are a class that leaves your room at any point, you need to make sure you take your walkie-talkie and your roster. When checkout starts, you want to have your roster ready so that you can meet the parents. We really want to try to not have the parents come into the classroom. It just makes some of the kids disoriented and upset. So we want to stop the parents at the door, greet them, ask for their call tag, ask for their child's name so we can call the child to us. We can check the name security tag against their name tag on their body. And then I want you to take off their name tag and stick it to the back of the roster. This just allows us to double check that everyone was checked out and had their checkout tag. After all of the kids are gone, before you leave the classroom, you're going to collect all the trash from the morning and put it in the trash can in the liner, tie up the liner and put it outside of your classroom in the hallway. This allows the coordinator to come by and pick up all the trash at the end of the morning and take it outside, because the cleaning crew that's contract employees for the church do not come until the following Friday. So if we have church on Sunday, it's almost 7 days before they come back to the building to take out all the trash. And so we want to preempt and just prevent any food or diapers or anything from collecting and causing the rooms to stink. So you will put all the trash and set the bag outside tied up. And then you will there is a thieves cleaner on your shelf, and you're going to spray down the toys and any horizontal surfaces in the room. This just helps prevent any viral transmission of illnesses or anything. We just want to leave the room clean. And then it will have, 6 days in between services to just we let the room rest. There are some small groups that are starting to meet at the church, but on the whole, the rooms get to rest during the week. The sickness policy. So this we started during COVID, and we're going to keep going with this. If you or your children have experienced any contagious symptoms, I'm going to put the list up, but it's nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever over 100.4, or a skin rash that's discolored or bumpy. It looks very different, like it looks like an allergic reaction to something. If you're experiencing any of those things on Friday or later, so if you're serving on Sunday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, if you're experiencing any of those things, then we want to call out sick. We do not want to have illness, especially contagious illness, back in the children's area. So that can include anything from stomach bug to strep throat to pink eye, anything that has a viral or a bacterial presentation within 48 hours. We want to be safe rather than sorry. So a couple last things on the overall teams. Now, you have been scheduled already for the summer. You have your committed dates. If you go into the system, you can even see, if you go, when you pull up the bridge, after you log in, on the left-hand side, there is a drop-down menu in the left-hand side. And in the drop-down menu, you select Schedules and Plans. And when you click on that, in the top right-hand corner of the screen, it's going to say My Serving. You would click on My Serving to be able to see all the dates that you or your spouse, if you have one, are scheduled to serve over June and July. If you're already on a team now, you may see May as well if you have dates at the end of May. But this will allow you to always have on hand, even if you forgot to put it in your calendar, you can always go check and see what your dates were. Now, if you figure out that a date doesn't work, and this will happen, especially it's already happened with a couple of teams, because summer schedules and scheduling vacations, like that doesn't always happen 2 months in advance. So if something happens and the date that you were scheduled for and you signed up for is not working for your schedule anymore, this semester we're trying something new because we're not using GroupMe anymore. That system did not work very effectively, because if people mute their GroupMe and then no one looks at it, then you're not getting responses to any of the requests. So what we did is Sarah and I put together a contact list and an overview of the scheduling before anything changes during the term. So what you can do is if you need to reschedule, you go click on this document, and it will also be sent to you in an email. I can send you an image of it if you can't find your email and you need to reschedule. But you are responsible for finding someone to swap with you on your team so that you can swap dates. Because we have decided to only run 8 people on a team, there now is not just a built-in cushion on the teams. There are some subs in case you can't swap dates, but what we want you to do is go in this, look at the schedule, find the 2 dates that are around your date. So if you're supposed to work on June 6th and you can't do it, and you figured that out, you need to look at May 30th and June 13th. There will be 4 people, because there's 2 people a week. You text those 4 people to see if anyone can swap dates with you. So if someone on May 30th can swap, then you're going to go to May 30th and they will go to June 6th. And that way we prevent people from over-serving, but we also utilize our teams and everyone serves their committed time. If you find a swap, it is very helpful for you to text me and so that I can know that. Right now, I'm going to put my text number up on the screen. I actually want everyone to take a minute and just program that in your phone. It is very helpful for you to be able to keep me informed. especially if you swap dates, this makes sure that you still get the reminder, you still get the email, because we go by what's in the system. If you don't switch the system or one of us doesn't switch the system, you're going to get the reminder a week late, or you're not going to get it in time. So we want to make sure that the system stays correct so that we can send you the correct reminders, and it's not confusing for you or us. So that is all the major team information. Now we're going to have some room-specific information for your teams, and then we'll end with one small reminder. Good morning, coordinating team. I'm so glad that you guys are serving with us this summer. I'm going to walk you through the basic steps for your position on Sundays, but obviously, as always, on your clipboard for the morning will be a printout of an overview of this information as well. So you don't have to worry about memorizing any of this, but I do just want to walk you through it and show you some images so you'll kind of know what to expect. You guys are going to arrive at 8 a.m. on your morning of service. It'll give you 15 minutes to kind of get a couple of things done before the teacher gets there, because when she gets there at 8:15, he or she, you guys are going to pray for the morning and pray for the servant team before they start arriving for check-in, and they should arrive at some point between 8:15 and 8:30. So you will be on the lookout for them. When you arrive at the building, the first thing you're going to do is enter the office and put your things down. Now, the office is a little messy right now, but you can see in the office behind me, there's a blue table and there is a board that's hanging on the wall with some hooks. You are welcome to put your supplies anywhere there or on the blue desk in the office. That is my desk, and I'm totally fine if you just want to store your stuff on or under my desk, whatever is easiest. You guys, when you put your stuff down in the office at 8, you will go to all of the rooms and turn on the walkie-talkies and make sure they're all on channel 16. There are going to be 2 nursery rooms downstairs. So if you enter the nursery room hallway, it's the last 2 doors on the left, or the classrooms. It's the same as this summer. And then upstairs, there will now be a 4 to 6 classroom in the place where they were this spring. And then there'll be another 4 to 6 classroom that's the next door. So when you walk up the stairs from the side door, the first door on the right is 4 to 6 classroom 1. The next room is 4 to 6 classroom 2. This actually used to be the Will's World room when Liam was coming back during service. Like I said, you will, after you turn on the walkie-talkies, you'll grab a walkie-talkie for yourself off the station in the office. And let me show you that really quick. That little wooden thing at the front of the door, you'll see the walkie-talkies on the top. Those 3 walkie-talkies are for the teacher, you, the coordinator, and the security host for the day. And then you will go out back to where the check-in stations are to be able to wait for the teacher to arrive. And then after you guys pray, he or she will go upstairs to make sure that the lesson and worship room is prepped and ready. And you will remain at the computers downstairs to help the servant team with their check-in. I'm going to put some images up, but basically everyone's going to be printing out their own name tags now, which pre-COVID was normal. During COVID, no one was doing that. I was pre-printing them before the morning on Sunday. So you will grab the tablets off the my desk. So you'll grab, there'll be 2 of these, and you will take them, you'll turn them on just by holding the button at the top, that button right there. And then you will open the app that is for check-in, and it's the first icon at the middle bottom of the screen. It's saved. And you will open it for a family member, a church member check-in. So when you click on that check-in setup, you will see a password. It'll ask you for a password, and the password is CK1234. This will pull up a screen that has basically like a number pad, because people are going to look up their children to check in, or they will look up themselves to check in on the servant team by their phone number that's in the Bridge system. So you'll take the tablets out there, you'll turn them on, and then you will pretty much wait for the servant team to show up once you have printed your own name tag. Don't forget to print your own name tag. An important thing for check-in for the servant team is that you guys should all place yourselves on the children's discipleship team. Some people, especially if they've never done it before, they don't have anyone helping them when they do it for the first time, will place them on themselves on the roster for the room they're serving in. And we don't want to do that because that'll prevent kids from checking in. It'll affect the capacity for the room, and it will place them on the roster, and they're not a 4-year-old child. So just be conscious. I would like you to remind the servant team members of this. Maybe the first couple weeks when everyone's checking in, you can just ask them, have you ever used this system before? And if they say no, you can help them, kind of walk them through it the first time. Once the servant team is all checked in, and if you guys are downstairs at check-in and around 8:40, because you're going to have a sheet now that has all the servant team members, and they've all been instructed to come find you when they get to the building in the morning, so you can check them off to make sure everyone's there. So around 8:40, on this sheet, there's going to also be everyone's contact number. So if someone is not there, so someone is supposed to be serving, say, in the 4 to 6 classroom number 1. If they're not there, I want you to send them a quick text and say, hey, I have you serving today in the 4 to 6. Just want to make sure you're on the way. That way you will know that when the check-in starts for the families, because the teacher will come downstairs and like help you during check-in when the families are checking in. And if like someone is late or if they forgot and they're on their way, that the teacher could actually go up and stand in their classroom so that parents can start checking in until the other person gets there. So all the families will come, and obviously they're going to use the system to check their kids in if there's any issues. So one of the things that we've been working really hard to talk to the parents who haven't kind of re-engaged at church, what to expect, and only the kiddos that are engaged and kind of meeting the requirements are going to be on those rosters. So if anyone shows up, a member that's not on a roster, and there shouldn't be anyone that shows up that is not aware that they are not on a roster, but if there is, you need to text me right away because this could potentially be a sticky situation that I would like to talk to them about. At 9 o'clock, the teacher is going to head upstairs and they're going to start. I want you to actually cue them to go upstairs just to make sure that they kind of stay. You're kind of our logistics timekeeper for the morning in some ways. You're going to tap. They're going to tap when they go upstairs, the 4 to 6 classrooms, and let them know it's time to line up to go down to lesson and worship because their lesson will start at 9:05. One thing that I'm going to ask the parents not to do this term is not to bring their children back after the first worship set. If someone wants their children to experience worship, I would much rather them come after the sermon and check their kids out early to take them back to the sanctuary for the second worship set. The reason for this is if they come and check them in after the first worship set, they're going to be disrupting the lesson, and it makes it really hard for some of the other kids. Usually these are the kids that also have a hard time transitioning. So we just don't want to set anyone up for failure. So if a parent does that, the first time you can say, it's okay. We're not going to prevent you from going to class, but in the future, we'd rather you just come check them out. Like bring them first thing in the morning so they're on time to class, but just check them out early for the second worship set. That way we're not just, interrupting class and we're not throwing the teachers off. Okay, so once everyone is checked in, once the hall is clear, and this should usually be around 9:05, you are going to head down. If you enter the side door of the church, to the left is the Children's Discipleship Wing. To the right, you will go down some stairs toward the offices. And when you go down those stairs, on the left is a printer, and that's like the industrial printer for the whole church. There will be a computer, a little Mac Mini set up on the counter beside the printer. You're going to turn on the Mac Mini with the power button on the little Apple Square hard drive. You're going to turn on the wireless mouse, and then you're going to turn on the keyboard. And the mouse is a little flip switch on the bottom. It'll turn green when you turn it on. The keyboard is on the side of the keyboard. There's another little flip switch, and it'll turn green on the keyboard. Once you get the Mac Mini on and the wireless supports on, you're going to log into the computer. The login is Riverside space CD. So Riverside, the R is capitalized, and then you put a space, and then CD is capitalized. The password is 2tim315. So 2tim, T is capitalized, 3:15. And again, this will all be in your handout, but just so that you guys know, when the desktop pulls up, there's going to be one icon in the top right corner, and that's going to be for check-in reports. Once you open that, it'll take you to an internet site for the check-in system, and you'll type the password in. Same password as the system on the tablets. It's CK, both lowercase, 1, 2, 3, 4, no spaces. You will choose the visitor manned setup. It's just basically there's 3 different setups. There's members, visitors, and something else. But you'll choose the visitor setup. And then in the top left, there'll be an icon titled Reports. So you're going to click on Reports. And then you're going to select a little menu will pop up in the middle of the screen, and it'll have 3 choices, or maybe 4 choices, but you're just going to select Room Roster Reports. When you click on that, a screen will come up with the list of the rooms, but in the top right-hand corner will be a button for Print. So you're just going to click Print, and it will print a roster for every class. So Nursery 1, Nursery 2, 4 to 6 1, 4 to 6 2, and Children's Church. At this point, you're just going to take those rosters. You'll put the servant team roster on Stacy's desk, the blue desk in the office. And then you will take the other rosters upstairs to their classrooms. I would start with taking Nursery 1 and Nursery 2 to their class. You want to remind the teachers to write down any visitors or kids that checked in late that are not on the roster. Write their name at the bottom of the roster so we have a record of that. And then take the 4 to 6 roster and the Children's Church and the 4 to 6 number 2 roster upstairs. You're going to take the 4 to 6 1 and 2 rosters with you into the storage room. That is the 3rd door on the left. In there is the water cooler, and there are water bottles with the names of all the kids on the rosters for the 4 to 6 1 and the 4 to 6 2. You are going to take the water bottles for the kids that are on the roster and fill them up about 3 inches from the bottom. So just fill them up. It comes to like a quarter of the bottle. And you're going to place the bottles for 4 to 6 1 on the snack tray in their room. And you're going to place the bottles for 4 to 6 2 on the snack tray in their room. So you want to try to do this before their lesson in Lesson and Worship is over at 9:25. So they have their water bottles before they start snack. This is going to prevent us having a lot of trash and waste from the little paper cups. It prevents us having to have a pitcher. We're just going to try this system. We use it over COVID, and I think it'll be helpful, but I'll reach out to you guys to make sure it's still running pretty efficiently after kind of a couple of weeks. Okay, so after service, the checkout is going to start, obviously, as soon as the service is over. This is usually planned time-wise around 10:30. You're going to head back downstairs to the check-in stations. And if you're upstairs and you see parents start coming up, you want to head down to the checkout stations as soon as you're done helping the teachers, whatever you were doing. You will greet all the families as they return. It's that culture of welcome that we want to cultivate. And then when all the children are gone, you're going to go room to room and turn off the walkie-talkies and make sure they are sitting down in the cradle so that they will charge. You're going to turn off the TV and the lights in the nursing mom's room. And then you will collect all the trash that's outside the classrooms that the facilitators have wrapped up and tied and take it out to the dumpsters in our back parking lot. The very last thing you're going to do is go to the Nursery 1, Nursery 2, 4 to 6 1, 4 to 6 2, and Children's Church. Gather all the rosters, take your servant team sheet and the servant team roster that you printed off the printer, stick them all together and staple them and set them on Stacy's desk, the blue desk in the office. And I will use them during the week. There's also a place on your clipboard sheet that has the servant team where you can take notes for the morning. So if there's any supplies that we need to order, or if there's anything I need to be aware of that happened, you can write that there. All right, that is really it. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. You will notice that you are not managing the technology now in the lesson and worship room. That's going to really be for the teachers, since we're really going to ask them to own that room. So you don't have to worry about that. And other than just filling the water bottles and printing the rosters, you're really going to be there to assist and to serve the teachers. So you want to make sure your walkie-talkie is always on. You want to make sure you're listening and attentive to that. And if you don't have anything currently to do, it is helpful for you to go room to room and just check in with the teachers and say, how are you doing? Is there anything I can do for you? See if anyone needs any assistance. That is the best thing that you can do during the service. The last thing, I'm going to have you guys go to the link on the screen. So it's rvrsd.org/CD team agree. This is just a little service agreement. It's going to cue me that everyone has watched their training video, and it will just kind of get us to a point where we know everyone is ready on June 6th. I know that you guys got your video a little bit later than everyone else because I was waiting to see what the roster printing situation would be. So I am just going to check back in with you on May 30th to see who has and hasn't been able to complete their training. And really, we just want everyone to complete their training a week before they're actually serving, by the week before they're actually serving. So don't rush, but definitely let me know if you have any questions.